What happens when you have no husband, no children, no possible real way to ever get a boyfriend? Your friends hate you, not even that secretly, and your future prospects are gonna be dying alone while trying to write an article on Twitter about how great it was to not have a family. Well, you probably become an Australian feminist and try to ruin the lives of others because, well, clearly you have to blame someone, I guess.
You play games. But what if a group of people decided that your hobby was a crime? What if they wanted to use police, even international police, to come after you just for disagreeing with them? That's not a joke. It's happening right now, and it's all
Oh my god, you you can just tell, can't you? It's so easy.
right now, and it's all thanks to a group called Collective Shout who are trying to get anyone who stands against them arrested. Meet Collective Shout, an Australian group that decided they didn't like some of the games on platforms like
Your Honor, I rest my case.
Steam and itch.io. So, what did they do after Gaben wouldn't listen to their complaints? They went after the money. They sent a letter to major payment companies like PayPal and Mastercard demanding they stop working with these game stores. Their argument
I'm pretty sure they sent multiple letters, okay?
was that
To make it seem that everyone is against it.
some of the games had extreme content, framing it as illegal and that it should be removed. The thing is, it worked. The payment companies gave in. They told the game stores to
Well, the payment companies were probably honestly just itching for a chance like this to finally flaunt their power and absolute monopolized consensualized power over everyone else because they're untouchable in this society. Yeah, I'm sure they just were waiting for something like this to happen. That's the worst part. It probably did not take a lot of convincing. Collective Shout probably lost a lot of time just thinking that, oh, we need to convince these people. No, no, they're scumbags. They were on your side to begin with because they're delusional as you.
clean up their act or they would lose service. The game platforms removed thousands of titles to make sure that they fell in line with these financial companies' rules. This response not only hurt the players of these games, it also caused financial damage to real people, including the thousands of developers who spent countless hours on the art and game development. It wasn't only that though. One of PayPal's largest acquiring banks terminated its service with Steam in every currency other than 6. So now it's no longer just about adult games. Nearly every single person on the platform is now directly affected. Also, when a bank terminates its service with a merchant, they report it to the match list. We covered it in our previous video, but it's a secret confidential list that top banks and financial companies like Mastercard and Visa use to monitor risky.
Yeah. If you're okay, let me explain how this works. If you are an individual that causes a lot of problems for one bank, that bank can make it so that no other bank in the world wants to do business with you. If one bank refuses to give you a card, for example, for, I don't know, anything, other banks may follow suit. It's a chain effect. This is effectively better not give this person a life list.
Merchants. Imagine it as a big red flag or a warning telling other banks not to work with Valve. Although the match list database is kept extremely private, the fact a bank has terminated service with Valve means they are highly likely to be on this blacklist. After their win, Collective Shout couldn't stop talking about the situation. You'd think a group that got what it wanted would move on to bigger things. But of course, this group doesn't actually care about protecting anyone other than removing content they don't like. To defend their actions,
Desperate and weak people. Weak people make hard times. Weak men make harder times. Asmongold literally probably is advocating for this right now. Government issued ID? Well, how about we also get rid of those pesky games? Spineless, weak, and cowardly. Weak men should not be given rights in general.
Collective Show has been trying to paint these games as highly illegal to larger organizations that have little understanding of gaming, like a United Nations Special Rapporteur. A UN rapporteur are independent human rights experts who simply investigate and advise on issues. The fact that Collective Show is trying to get one on their side shows they're actively working to legitimize their claims to a wider non-gaming audience. And now, they found a partner in a report from a group.
No one even knows who these people are. The UN says something, the average person doesn't give a shit. That's the thing about the UN. It's just stupid. We already had every agreement that we needed before the UN.
Called the Online Hate Prevention Institute. This report, which sides with Collective Shout, is just saying why they think this censorship is so good and framing the pushback from gamers as a hateful, misogynistic campaign. But the most interesting part is when you reach the bottom conclusion. The Online Hate Prevention Institute has been shocked by both the extreme nature and volume of the content we have seen attacking Collective Shout, the women who work there, and those that serve on its board of directors. The connect comes from accounts across multiple platforms. In some cases, new throwaway accounts have been created in an effort to anonymously post threats while trying to avoid any consequences.
Post threats. Listen, if anyone says I got threatened nowadays, I don't believe. I instantaneously assume you're a liar. Any single person that ever is gonna nowadays tell me, oh, I got threatened. Show it. Don't just brag about it. If you're not showing it, I'm instantaneously assuming you're a liar. Your whole agenda is BS, and you want to do something bad, and that's why you need to lie about it so you can emotionally manipulate people into believing you are being on your side because you don't have anything left.
These are serious cases of cyber harassment, and there needs to be government responses, including international cooperation between law enforcement agencies. Threats of death and rape are not free speech,
Not overblown at all. Not overblown in the slightest, you know?
even in the United States, where some of the trolls clearly come from. We're not talking about your local police. We're talking about agencies that deal with serious international crimes. They're asking for help from organizations like Interpol. It's crucial to understand that Interpol isn't a police force that would directly arrest you. Instead, it's a network that communicates between different countries' police. It would allow an Australian police
Oh, he actually knows.
force like the Australian Federal
I met a woman who was ex-Interpol. Pretty insane stuff.
Police to coordinate with agencies in other countries like the FBI in the US to track down and investigate people. So Collective Shout's
Also, by the way, yeah, she was batshit crazy. By the way, I'm not joking. She was batshit fucking crazy. Holy!
allies want to use laws that were designed to fight cybercrime, like harassment, threats, and defamation, to go after gamers who simply just don't want their games censored and controlled by people who have never played a video game in their life. And while no one should accept threats of violence, a number of people have found that Collective Shout has been faking threats against themselves to gain sympathy and get donations. They genuinely think that if they just say the games are illegal and anyone who speaks up against them is misogynist.
At the end of the day, this is about power. And if a person is striving for power, they will say and do pretty much anything to attain it. So, these people lying, faking, and doing other heinous stuff like this, showing that they literally have no moral compass whatsoever. Well, arguably, maybe they do, but it's completely twisted. It should be a given to expect activities from people like this. Because all they crave is power, dominate over other people. Because their poor life choices, their poor decisions that led them to this. Everyone knows that this woman has no one in her life. They need to blame someone. They need to make other people's hurt, so they hurt less. It never actually hurts less when these people do things like this, but it is what it is.
Or a rapist, that it will just make everyone agree and listen to them. Remember, like Valve has said, the games they were targeting were legal and fit inside their original policies. So it genuinely seems like Collective Shout may actually start to work with police to pursue criminal charges against gamers. Collective Shout is straight up coming into a space that's not theirs, trying to control it, and they don't want anyone to speak up against it. They got cooked so hard they had to private their X account, which is most likely likely why they had to start begging for donations, as they were starting to look bad for their supporters. So let that all sink in. A group is trying to get
They didn't have supporters. If they have any supporters, I'm assuming they're also fake.
international police involved. They want law enforcement to target people who oppose them. Although Collective Shout tries to act like the victims, this campaign has already directly affected thousands of developers, many of them small, independent creators who lost their income overnight. Luckily, Valve is on their side, but that still doesn't change the fact that their previous work was removed. So Collective Shout is directly responsible for inflicting financial damage on thousands of people. Because Collective Shout is an Australian group, these developers could group together and file a class action lawsuit against them for economical damages. Their most likely path to a win would be in an Australian court, as US court.
Yeah, but let's be real. You sue Collective Shout and then what? You think Collective Shout has money? No, they don't. So suing Collective Shout is not a financial decision. Or it shouldn't be one at the bare minimum, because it's not going to lead you anywhere. If you're looking for reconciliation, the lawsuit is not it. Because Collective Shout has no money. It doesn't matter if they win or lose super badly. They have no money.
Courts would have difficulty claiming jurisdiction over an Australian organizations for actions that launched overseas. This is just a thought for all the game developers who are affected, as these power-hungry people won't stop until they face consequences.
Also, if they get sued, they would use that as a launching platform for even bigger attempts at power grabbing. That is 100% what would happen.
It also won't just stop here. According to Mastercard's rules, any game with non-consensual mutilation could be hit, and since Steam is now forced to follow their rules, this means nearly every top game could get removed. By not fighting back, we are allowing a small group to dictate what.
Thankfully, listen, payment providers have been untouchable for years. They have been doing this stuff. The first time I heard about payment providers and that they're shitty is, I don't know, 10 years ago at this point, something like that, maybe 50. And there was no way to touch them because everyone was literally just afraid to even speak out. The fact that Valve is even just calling payment processors out is already a huge, huge shift, honestly. Because previously, like even 5 years ago, no one would even dare do anything like that, because that would just mean, oh well, it's over.
Is acceptable for an entire global community. Trump has signed an executive order that is meant to stop banks from debanking or denying financial services for political or reputational risk reasons. So if it is a lawful activity, they can't deny it.
This is, I think, technically a good thing, but I haven't read it. I don't know anything about it. Just the fact that it is signed, but I don't know if this is actually like a good thing, or is there something behind this?
Which is what's happening exactly here. While this executive order is a big step, it's not a full law just yet, and won't help everyone around the world. Now, regardless of how long it takes, I wouldn't be surprised if Valve comes out with a solution so they no longer have to be dependent on these large financial companies.
Yeah, what's its name? Elon Musk said something about making a payment processor. Honestly, that would be pretty good. Water CS2, 10 out of 10. Bye.